Welcome back to the Tour Daily Podcast, everybody. I'm Kaylee Fretz. We come to you after stage 15, won by none other than Tim Wellens, another UAE victory, but different fella this time. That was exciting. Big breakaway day. We're coming out of the Pyrenees. I'm joined by Johnny Long. Welcome.
Hello.
And Ian Trellor.
Hello.
And Joshua Robinson of the Wall Street Journal. Welcome back, Josh.
Good to be back.
It's so good to have you. Let's talk about the stage a little bit. Kind of chaotic breakaway stage. Obviously won by Tim Wellens with a pretty significant gap, actually, in the end. But we saw, I don't know, how many different iterations of that breakaway?
A few, that's for sure.
10, 15, something like that. I'm not going to obviously run through all of them. I think that would be maybe a waste of everybody's time. But needless to say, it took a while for the break to not fully form, but then it started to come back, and we had a Jonas Vingegaard crash early on in the stage, to which Tadej Pogačar and some others were trying to slow the field down, and then Vingegaard's own teammates were still trying to get the breakaway, and it was just generally kind of chaotic. Maybe should we just read the Pogačar quote there? Is that the easiest thing to do?
No, I was on the run sheet. I can get the Pogačar quote if you'd like and talk you through it.
Yeah.
So Pogačar in his press conference, because basically we heard early on, I think it was before some TV had gone live, so I don't think we saw it. We heard about it. I'm sure some people saw it. And it was Florian Lipowitz and Jonas Vingegaard were caught behind in a crash. And obviously this then means that the bunch and cycling has to have a bit of a fit over, do we wait, do they chase, like what happens?
Yep.
Do we all shake hands and sing Kumbaya? Like what's on the menu today? So Pogačar said in his press conference, there was the whole situation at the start. The race was full gas for the breakaway, like we expected. There was a crash. Jonas was involved. Lipowitz was involved. There was a split in the group. Me and Tim were trying to talk to the bunch to calm things down and wait for the guys in the back. This didn't work. What was bothering me was there were Visma guys all trying to go in the break again, and then they have at the same time Jonas trying to chase back. It would have been much easier for everybody if for one of them to go in the break and the other two wait for the rest of them to catch up. But instead, they had the situation where
Visma was still trying to put three riders in the break, even as Jonas Vingegaard goes off the back.
Well, and while Tadej Pogačar and Tim Wellens, I like it when Tadej refers to him just as Tim, because it makes him sound. Tim Wellens is a two-name man. He's not Tim. But yeah, so Tadej Pogačar's like, well, you know what? Like, you guys sort it out. Then we're going to race. Yeah. It's going to be harder for Jonas Vingegaard to get back on. Because obviously now it's all about how you are seen to be. It's like why we see all the riders going to great pains to sign everyone's autographs.
Yep.
It's why we see everyone asks like, oh, did you wait as soon as you heard to let this guy back in to be sporting? So there's a bit of that going on, which is I feel is creeping into the sport a bit. I don't know.
I like the internal tug of war within Visma Lisa Bike, where they are trying to get people to go away off the front whilst also trying to bring someone
ridiculous.
back off the back.
It's ridiculous.
It's very silly.
It's when, for the first part of the race when we were like, oh, they've got all these plans, like they've got all these tactics that, we don't know what they're going to do. Because based on Simon Yates winning the Giro on that stage, and we've seen them spending a lot of energy, Patrick Redford is just rolling up on a bike outside, sweating. Shirtless. So we'll hear about that. But yes, quite an odd move from Visma, but they do seem quite desperate for some stage wins. I don't really know what to say.
Too distracted by Patrick Redford showing up.
Is that?
He's
going for a swim.
He's going for a swim.
Is that I think that's a Montpellier bike share bike.
He just rode that from the city.
It's far away, isn't it, the city from where we are?
It's a good 15-minute drive in a car.
Oh, so that is far.
Good stuff.
There is also an appropriate attire policy at this hotel.
Yeah, I really hope he has a T-shirt.
He does.
Will not be there's a
shirt.
He wasn't appropriately attired when he arrived.
Yeah.
There's
He's
a
not
shirt
on
in
the
the
grounds
basket
yet, though.
Am I correct in saying that's the most California thing I've ever seen in France? Not only to ride the bike topless, but then to go be like, I'm just going to cool off in the big sea. Anyway,
let's return to the bicycle race. So Tim Wellens ends up in this breakaway. We do end up with a sort of somewhat stable situation, right? We've got a relatively large break still. It's being animated by riders like Michael Storer and Quinn Simmons and Tim Wellens, and they're kind of hitting each other. And there's the big Cat 2 kind of near the end of the stage, and they're using that to try to get away. Behind them at this point, once we've gotten through the bit with Jonas Vingegaard off the back, and Visma also off the front, which was the strange bit that Pogačar was kind of complaining about. Once we get through that, it's pretty stable back there. UAE's happy to just ride along, and the race is really only up front, right?
Yeah.
Again, the active riders, I think Storer was had a really good day. Quinn Simmons, excellent day, really excellent day. But when Tim Wellens went, it was a perfectly timed move. I think it was Victor Kampenaerts who said after the stage that Tim is one of those riders you have to like keep an eye on because he's really sneaky and tricky, and that's exactly what we saw.
Was he talking about racing only, or was this more broader?
I think this is just more broadly.
Character.
Yeah,
Just a prankster.
Cling filming toilet seats in the Belgium National Federation office.
He'll steal your wallet if you don't keep an eye on it.
So Tim Wellens ends up off the front. I think there were quotes from Simmons after the stage to the effect of he got quite a bit of help from motos. Do we think that's valid?
I think it's valid. I think it's one of those things that, I mean, maybe we're shooting ourselves in the foot here. I think you can't say it if you've lost. I think it comes across as a bit of a sour grape, which is a fruit, not a flavour, just in case Quinn Simmons wasn't sure.
You can't really say it if you've won either. You're not like, oh, the moto, that
would be
really
great,
well.
though. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, but we do know that at the Tour in particular, there is this kind of sweeping coverage across the peloton, and like the motos are right in there all the time, regardless of who it is. The whole I mean,
the Mathieu van der Poel breakaway stage. I mean, if you watch that one, those closing kilometers, that was.
But we know that Mathieu van der Poel is good for business.
Yes, very good. They filmed that like National Geographic were out there, but instead of using a zoom lens, they couldn't have been closer up, and we're just like, come on. Here we go.
And we can only sort of speculate that it would happen for a French rider if such a rider were in that position.
Yeah.
But
you think they would capitalise on that a bit more, wouldn't they? But apparently not.
But also, I would say that if you win, if you are Tim Wellens and you win by a minute and a half over the next rider, and like 2 minutes over the bunch that came in with Quinn Simmons in it, then maybe that is a bigger advantage than you would get from a little bit of a motorbike draft.
Yeah. Maybe he was talking about it helping prize him away or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I think that
but that's
help
the name of the
create
game.
The gap, right?
Didn't Tim Wellens say as well? He should have attacked before and used the moto instead of me, or someone said.
That's
did
what he
Pogačar
said.
say that? I think I can't remember.
That's exactly what he said.
Which is fair delivery.
Yeah. No, the actual quote, if I may pull it up here. I can't find it right now, but yes, you're.
Yeah, that's the
right.
Yeah.
He said that yes. If Quinn thinks that motos help, then he should just go and attack and use the motos himself. That was pretty much the quote.
We haven't spoken about the most important and interesting thing that happened in today's stage.
And
embarrassing, but he wore it well enough that I don't think Julian Alaphilippe be embarrassed in his current era.
He was a bit embarrassed.
He was embarrassed, would you say?
Yeah, I was standing at the Tudor bus when he arrived back, and he didn't look very happy. He climbed onto the bus and he made some noises to the effect that I look a little bit like he has an accent. He is a French man. So he either said, I look like an idiot, or no, he said, I don't look intelligent, or it was just like Liège. So I thought he said, I don't look intelligent.
Yep.
And somebody else that I was standing with thought he said it was like Liège.
Patrick Redford does have a shirt.
Yes.
And it's not the shirt anyone expected.
What a shirt.
Thank you, Patrick.
The energies are total.
The energies are total. The first time this tour I've seen the energies so total, if I'm being honest.
Is that from the gas station? Amazing.
So should we just should we set Patrick's scene here?
I would like to know.
I would like to just know what's happened.
What's that? How did you get here? What happened?
How much bike racing have you guys gotten into?
A fair bit. I mean, I was kind of just distracted as soon as you turned up because I was just thinking, what has happened to Patrick
Like
Redford?
Victor Kampenaerts, I rode in alone, second place with a good attitude. Is what happened. I got a city bike share bike, and it was a lot further than I thought it would be.
Yeah, Joshua Robinson, Wall Street Journal. I have a two-parter for you. How long was the ride?
Sorry, no more questions. No more questions.
And how long did you think the ride would be?
In chronological order, 45-25.
Those were good racing questions. Well done for not straying from the topic. Yes.
That's me. He's trying to steal my beer. We can find you one, though.
We'll get you one.
We can find you one.
We can ask this nice man.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Let's return. Let's return to Alaphilippe. This was it. You know, so the Liège thing that the Liège thing. If you're watching YouTube, you just watched a random Frenchman wave at you. The Liège thing he's talking about is when he got pipped on the line.
Was celebrating, and Primoz Roglic did a bike throw and got in front of him.
Yes, which was just like generally embarrassing. This is actually quite different because in that case, you know, like he's just thought he had enough space to win. In this case, he was third, which is really quite different. I feel a little bit bad for him.
Yeah, but what happened, they explained later, was that he had crashed earlier in the stage and no longer had his radio.
Yeah.
So he had no idea what was going on ahead of him.
Yep.
It wasn't just that, but he'd also dislocated his shoulder. So he dislocated his shoulder, popped it back in.
Yeah.
Allow me to read the quote. We have the quote.
Yeah.
So we were waiting. So the press room and the X-ray truck were in the same place.
Yeah.
Today.
Convenient.
Very convenient. And so we were sitting on the steps outside the press room, maybe waiting for Julian Alaphilippe to go get medically checked. And then when he came out of the X-ray truck thing, yourself, Johnny, and Chris Marshall-Bell, our good friend, you chased him down along with a bunch of French journalists.
And
the French reporters asked some questions, and he responded with, yeah, it really happened, is what he said. I'm not going to say this is a French accent. It would be insulting, so I'm just going to read it like myself.
Yeah.
I had a crash and dislocated my shoulder for a few seconds. I thought it was over, but then I remembered what they did at the hospital, and I managed to pop it back in myself. What?
That's like in a TV scene where they're like, remember the hospital, and then it echoes out, remember the hospital, remember the hospital. In that moment, he just whacks his shoulder over the top tube and knocks it back in.
We haven't had a French stage win yet, but I guarantee that this is like the French moment we were all waiting for.
Well,
should Leage just put the post-up photo? Put the post-up photo on the cover tomorrow.
I think so.
Just
nobody will
honestly, if everyone just says it, Victoire Alaphilippe,
we just go with it.
It could become true.
In the ASO group chat, ASO Twitter account. You were showing me this Tour de France Twitter account. They were taking the mick out of Alaphilippe. He's been transported from French darling to internet meme in one contract.
Well, there's sort of a confluence, right? Because they're still waiting for a French stage victory.
I think it's actually more complex than that, I would say, because he is simultaneously a French darling and a meme. Because when you hang around the Tudor buses, he is just universally beloved. I spent a bit of time watching Julian Alaphilippe both this morning and this evening. Not really meaning to, because I was chasing a Michael Storer story.
Yeah, but then he scrambled up a tree to go and hide his berries.
But I was following Alaphilippe, and he is so charismatic and so beloved that people are just like screaming for him.
We were all here at the 2019 tour.
I wasn't.
You weren't?
The
for
real
those
ones
of us
were.
who were here.
The real ones were.
We all remember that like the 2 weeks he wore yellow were just unbelievable in France. Like suddenly more people appeared at the side of the road.
Best 2 weeks of your life?
I mean, listen.
Let's not put the man on the
Any
spot
2
here.
weeks I'm around you.
It was a good 2 weeks. Like genuinely, it was the best tour I think I've covered.
Yeah,
And
sounds great, guys.
Yeah.
Sounds wicked.
It was maximum France.
It was
all
maximum
the time.
France.
Yeah.
You'll have it at some point. The next bit of the quote here. After that, I kept pushing because my legs felt good, which is great. Unfortunately, the radio stopped working after the crash, which is what you said, Josh. So like an idiot, I went for the sprint trying to win. But yeah, it's all about mindset. Mentally, I'm doing okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
We love to hear it.
We love to hear it.
He then got into the Tudor van. They tried to whisk him away as quick as possible, but then there was like quite a lot of like roadblocks and stuff. And then basically everyone started realizing it's Julian Alaphilippe in the car, so fans were like shouting at him. The TV like crews where
Daniel
you've got like
Friebe.
one camera guy, Daniel Friebe was involved, Eurosport guy, someone else, kept on like running up to the window trying to like interview him, and then just even get some footage of him being whisked away in the van, because that's good enough, I guess.
Oh yeah.
And
Run
they
it on
kept
the-
on getting stopped, so they would run. It was quite good. It needed some Benny Hill music underneath it for sure.
It was a ridiculous scene, is what it was. I think that's maybe enough. We don't need to dwell on Alaphilippe too much. It was a kind of a sad moment. You like, I almost wish. 'Cause here's the thing: out of that group, if Campenaerts and Wellens hadn't been off the front, neither of them were beating Alaphilippe in that sprint, most likely. He could have won a stage today. That's the kind of sad thing about it, right? It's like, okay, maybe some of the other guys in that breakaway group would have tried a bit harder if there was a stage win on the line and not a third. But even so,
yeah, that's the main point of it. Yeah.
Even so, like that would have been. It would have been good for the Tour. I think it'd be. We have had a dearth of other than Spicy Kevin, Big Spicy Kevin. We haven't had much in the way of French success at this Tour de France, and a bit of Alaphilippe, a la 2019 would have been good. Yeah. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was embarrassing. So, other things from the sort of post-race press conferences and quotes and things like that. Pogačar, and I think we've kind of known this, or we kind of guessed this, but I don't think I've seen it confirmed anywhere. He confirmed that he's been sick.
Yeah. There's been it has felt a bit weird, like a lot of the, we thought he was on that stage 10, didn't we? Because
basically
he didn't do much media, and he was in and out of the bus.
He said he has a little tickle in his throat. He said not a big deal. Like, it's not slowing him down.
Yeah.
It's just kind of annoying. But still, the guy's been sick. He also blamed air conditioning like a proper European.
We're going to talk about that in After Dark. Yeah, are you with me? In the car, I was having to field all sorts of nonsense.
Air conditioning doesn't make you sick.
Well,
Incorrect.
Tell that to half the people who are at the 2022 World Cup. Basically, every non-North American team at the World Cup was like, yeah, we've been sleeping badly, a lot of tickles in our throats, and it was like Brazil and every European team because the World Cup was in Qatar, and if you didn't have air conditioning, you died. But this was a real topic of conversation on a daily basis.
We'll get
it's debunked.
We'll get to it.
The medical community is clear on this.
The medical community of what? Run by the Robert Kennedy guy or whatever who's running your guys' healthcare. I mean, come on. We're in Europe with standards here. We eat real food, and we have houses that are built. We don't need aircon.
Counterpoint, I would argue that there's probably more medical harm that comes from sleeping in like 40-degree heat in the furnace of a house than there is in having air conditioning.
Have you been in Southern Europe? They live to 105 with no aircon.
We need to make a distinction here between like people above the age of 80 and others, because I agree with you. The extreme heat, which is getting worse, is bad for people over the age of 80. That is true.
Just stop denying climate change, Johnny.
Just don't live in a desert and you'll be fine. Come on. Anyway, we'll save it. Save the conversation. Pogačar said he's sick. He said that most of the peloton has been a bit sick as well. Which
that's standard.
Something has felt a bit off. Like you've had, so just the bike race at times has not felt necessarily as it should.
As zingy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Today's
but also if that was sick Pogačar, like what is the next week gonna look like? That's kind of terrifying.
So today you asked me this in the press match then, Kaylee. Was today's stage better than a sprint stage? Because if you look at the actual map, not the route profile, they could have had a sprint stage in Carcassonne, except they took a detour over a not even like a fairly big hill, right? Like a Cat 2 sort of.
Yeah, Cat 2 is a decent climb. Yeah,
pretty big.
I've just had to turn you back up because you got really overexcited about air conditioning, and I had to turn you down.
This is like when Dane talks about temperature.
I've had to turn you back up now that you're just talking about the bike race.
Yeah. Something I think today was more exciting, but this was more. It was more of a cyclocross race, right? You had all the action at the front, and in the end, you kind of know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you can kind of turn off your TV, walk away. I enjoyed this more than the sprint stage. Sprint stage, it builds, right? But if you lack sprinters who you find captivating, then it's not there for me. Others will disagree, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean that's basically the calculation that the Tour de France has made. It's the calculation that Thierry Gouvenou has made, and I don't for one second think that that's just his call either, right? Like there are probably board meetings upon board meetings in a conference room about like what the themes of a Tour de France route should be, and then Gouvenou does the execution on this. You've talked to him a fair amount.
Yeah, and we've talked about this a number of times over the years. What they deal with is both the question of towns that have actually paid to be on the tour, and so that's a Prud'homme situation where he's fielding the bids, setting the prices, and is like, Thierry, we really should go to this town because they have a lot of money this year, and they really want a stage.
Parking fines.
And then it's up to Thierry in August and September to drive around France and figure out interesting routes. And he he says it, he tailors it to the riders who are going to be in that peloton.
Yeah.
So in the years where like there was a great French climbing hope, Romain Bardet, for instance, and Thibaut Pinot, we had that tour that had the most climbing of all time.
Yeah.
Now, where every
6
state,
kilometers of time trial.
yeah, and now we have we have tours with like, every day is a GC day.
Yep.
So Thierry Gouvenou is going to respond to that and make every day a GC day.
Which, I think in general has been good. And this is very distracting. My wife just showed up, who I haven't seen in a day or two. In general, I think has been really good. But yeah, it comes back to sort of the original question that you just chucked out here, Johnny, which is like, would we prefer this to a traditional sprint stage? Like, because today, every single other tour I think I've covered, barring the last maybe 2 years, today would have been like Toulouse area where we started, Carcassonne.
Yeah.
Sprint stage, to the point where I actually just assumed this was a sprint stage for most of the last 2 weeks until I finally went and looked at the profile and I was like, wait, there's a Cat 2 climb in there.
3 years, I think this is when we were still cycling tips. That was the last time we had a stage into Carcassonne, if I'm right. We had a rest day last year.
2022.
Jasper Philipsen.
Did you look that up earlier, or do you remember that?
No, I remember that.
Really?
Yeah. And
It
Tadej
made that much
Pogačar
of an
was
impression
pleased
on
for
you?
it. No, it made almost no impression on me. But I remembered it.
Is that wow?
How do you
okay.
remember that?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I had no recollection whatsoever of
Yep.
who won it. But
That was the tour of you boys swimming under the bridge.
yeah. Well, today is the coolest it's been in
Yep.
Carcassonne, and it was still 35 degrees.
It's very
It's an
hot.
insane place.
So I think, and I've said this before, today's stage more fun than a sprint stage. The only reason for that is because, and there's really no offense meant here to the sprinters, but they're just not that exciting. We need an absolute nutcase to be a sprinter. That's the only way.
3 nutcases at
Yeah.
minimum, and then I'll care.
But Gouvenou says as much, and
Yeah.
I discussed this with him at the beginning of the tour, which was last year's sprint stages were really, really boring.
They're
And
horrible.
This tour route is a direct reaction to last year's boring sprint
Yeah, good.
stages.
I like the fact that it turns over that quickly. That they're not looking like 2 or 3 years down the line.
Yeah.
They're not like, oh yeah, we got to go to Carcassonne in 2027 because they've paid. Like other than the grand departs, which those get sort of mapped out relatively far out. Everything else is like you say, they finish a race at the end of July, and in August and September, Thierry Gouvenou is the only French man working, and he is driving around, figuring out where the Tour de France is going to go next.
He's back on the road, skulking around, like not telling people where he is.
Did you ask him whether when he's doing this he packs his own lunch, or would like us to see spend an entire month in Autogrills buying $12 chewy baguettes?
His quote to me was, "We go completely incognito. We don't ask anything for anyone, and we trust no one."
Well,
Thierry takes this seriously.
Yeah, I can tell.
I have a counterpoint to that from the hotel that we stayed at last night in Luchon, where they said that because it's a small town, they get calls a year out saying the tour is coming here. Don't tell anybody.
That was the story that. Josh
Well,
did.
but that happens like late summer, early fall, though. We're talking before that.
Yeah.
Oh, before that.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
head out from Paris, out of the nightclub, 4 a.m., back in his
Yep.
Renault Twizy.
Well, sometimes people recognize the Scodas, but he told me it's not the red one.
Cool. I mean,
So he
other
uses a-
people have silver Scodas.
I did not realise that those Scodas, they say Scodas were like a year-round deal.
So
They're the hardest working Scodas in show business.
Yeah, it's like-
So
No.
when I first started doing this job, I didn't do the bookings. I was just a passenger because I was 22 years old, and I was doing the tour in particular with 2 individuals. One was Andrew Hood, and one was John Wilcoxon, who worked for Velo at the time, now Velo, then Velo News. And John would do this. John would actually ring up hotels in all the towns that we always go to, right? Because we go to Luchon, we go to Grenoble every year, we go to Pau every year. He would ring up the hotels and he would ask around. He would say, what dates are you guys being booked out by ASO already? And he would book then. So we would have most of our hotels booked prior to
we should do
the
that
route ever
for
being
a fun
announced.
treat.
We would be so wrong.
That's part of the problem. That's part of the problem.
We'd be in the Alps, all the tours in the Pyrenees.
Anything else from the bike race today before we take a quick break and then
Johnny Milan at the start of the day did not look
no,
great.
But he made time cut.
He made the time cut. He was 9 minutes back quite early, but he made time cut. Will he be okay over the mountains and keep the green jersey? It's going to be touch and go. But waiting the wings, don't fear everyone, is Tadej Pogačar.
So currently, points jersey is 251 Johnny Milan, 223 Pogačar, and 210 Mathieu van der Poel. Of those three, like I think Milan winning would be great. We really like Milan. He's a lovely man, and he's a real sprinter. And I think it should be the sprinter's jersey, as I have said before. Second choice there would be Mathieu van der Poel, and he is clearly going for it, right? Like he got in the break again today. He's going to basically get every single intermediate point between now and Paris, and we should probably do the math at some point on what that means, because when we did the math previously, we assumed that Milan would maybe get some of them.
And he hasn't.
And I think Van der Poel will basically go get almost all of them between now and there.
I think so.
That said, it's still really hard to beat Pogačar because they put green jersey points at the top of mountains. That doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, should we take a quick break?
Yeah, why not?
And when we come back, we've got a lot more to talk about because we
Fun
are entering
stuff.
the not racing part of the podcast. And 2 weeks into the Tour de France, that list gets long. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah.
We didn't set the scene.
Okay.
We've been doing this in the not racing section. Who would like to set the scene for me?
Seeing as he's back by popular demand,
Yep.
what about Josh Robinson of the Wall
Well,
Street Journal?
I'll let Johnny set the scene, and then I have an add-on at the end of the scene
yes.
about this area.
We had our Matteo Jorgensen physical and verbal impression last night. Now we've got an impression of Matteo Jorgensen's mind as the American has gone around learning about the start and finish towns of the Tour de France. You might have seen on Victor Campanas's blog. Anyway, we are here at the beach just on the actual coast of Montpellier in a place called Palavas-le-Flots.
Palavas-le-Flots.
Thank you. Easy for you to say because you're French. Sitting here, I can see the sea, but before that I can see Patrick Redford, who is his body temperature is still acclimatizing. Maybe the Total Energies shirt is made out of some sort of technical material because it's not drenched or see-through yet. And then, if we're allowed to introduce them on the podcast, Mrs. Escape Collective, Meg Fretz.
My wife.
That's a throwback to the podcast 3 years ago, I think.
Yes, my wife is here.
Yes.
My family is staying about 200 meters over here in a campground. Children are asleep.
Yeah.
We've been making this work throughout the course of the Tour de France.
Well, funny you say that. I was actually we can cut this if not, but I was going to ask a question of the audience, and I was going to ask Meg Fretz how, I don't know why I'm double naming, she's not Tim Wellens, of how Meg thinks that the trip has gone so far, potentially. Only if you want to.
It's been really great. We have seen so many cool things. My kids are like bonding with each other and their grandparents, and we get to see Kaylee a couple times instead of 0.
That's nice.
Which is more than any is more than 0 is basically what the general concept coming into this summer was. So it's working pretty well. It's a lovely spot. We decided to come to the beach here for the rest day. We had options, we could have been in Montpellier somewhere. We could have stayed in Carcassonne. We anywhere in this sort of whole area we could have stayed. But we decided to drop down to the beach because we wanted a beach rest day.
And of the beaches we could have picked,
be
glad we picked this one.
Oh dear.
And not the one about 45 minutes down the coast.
Oh no.
Which is the Cap d'Agde, spelled Agde, known as the capital of French naturism. So, as Patrick arrived without a shirt on, he was sort of getting into the swing of things. There are, and I've learned this recently from a reliable source in Paris who sort of my expert on all things French zeitgeist.
Okay.
And there are less family-friendly parts of the Cap d'Agde and more family-friendly parts. and the less family-friendly parts have become known as the Bay of Pigs. And it's not because there are some anti-Castro sentiment.
Oh la la.
Maybe in the break between the main show and After Dark, you explain this, and then I will say it out loud so that you don't have to, because I feel you have a career to protect.
The Tour de France started there.
On the Naturist Reserve.
Was it like last year?
No, it was a couple years ago.
It wasn't last year.
There was something that seemed
2012.
Familiar.
I'm dating myself.
No.
The year of the Tour de France, we've spent a lot of time talking about.
Maybe
this.
I'm not going to say that.
No, my overarching memory of the Cap d'Agde had nothing to do with what you're talking about, Josh, and more to do with, I think it was the same weekend as Bastille Day, and we sat in traffic for 7 hours trying to get down from somewhere in the Alps.
Who would have known back then as well the Emperor had no clothes either? Does that work?
Yeah, sure.
It's late it's week 3 in the Tour. Josh gave me a look with like, yeah, nah,
maybe not quite.
Again.
Maybe not quite. Could we have a Chad Hagga corrections corner?
Yes. Well.
Is that what we want to get to?
Yeah. I mean, basically, was Chad saying that the push Ps aren't happening in the peloton because that would actually cause more fines?
Well, we have a couple things. So Chad, by the way, Escape Collective's first Giro d'Italia stage winner. We regret the error previously. I think we said that Casper Asgreen was that, and obviously Chad was. Chad won a time trial into Verona a couple years ago. So Chad sent me a text not too long before we started recording, actually. First vouched for the fact that Timon Arsman's a nice lad, and then also mentioned the newspaper cardboard vests that we were talking about in yesterday's podcast. He said it's not only because it's sort of functional, but also just because you can chuck it. And like I saw some memes around about like, why don't you just put a vest on or something like that? It's because then you have to figure out how to get back to your soigneur, which is maybe not easy. And you don't want to just chuck vests all the time over every single mountain, the entire Tour de France.
Why can't you put it in your pocket?
Because that's not aerodynamic, and you have to carry it around. Yeah, I mean you could for a bit, but you're not going to want to leave it back there for too long, basically. Okay. And so like the newspaper is just a quick, efficient way to do that. The other thing that he sent was rolling peas as the reason for no you're in trouble doesn't check out for me, which I think you identified a couple different reasons, right, Johnny, for this?
Yeah, that's not the whole story. Don't worry, Chad. Maybe the rest day, maybe Mont Ventoux Day. We've been saving it as potentially this when Tadej Pogačar recovers to full health. We find something to write about 5 days.
Saving it, or just haven't gotten around to it yet, Johnny?
Ian is very full of himself today because he's written 2 articles. Yes, more than 1, 2.
Oof, 210 Terry.
So, no, I'm proud for you. Just wish you'd shut up about it.
There's more to the story, is what you're saying. We've done extensive reporting.
Yeah. Got to find my notes from a week ago now and write up. Next thing on the docket. Haven't been to the mix zone that much this year because it's mostly a useless place. Went this morning to try and find our my sableur of the day, Warren Barguil. Thought that the press officer was pointing over to my direction, so I started actually jumping up and down, waving my hand so that Warren Barguil could cheers everyone.
You're normally so cool, calm, and collected at a bike race.
It's because I had a residual high from getting the Oliver Narsson quote for the podcast. I was like, if we get the King of France on the podcast, that's going to be... We'll take it to a new level.
It's a big win.
And I really thought he was looking directly at me. And so and it was a good crowded mix zone, so I did jump up. Josh, as a proper journalist, would have hated the way I debased myself.
No, I respect it.
To try and get a thing. Turns out wasn't looking at me. Went to a bunch of French journalists, spoke to them for a bit, looked very happy, was then looking directly at me, but clearly past me, because then rode past, and turns out trying to say Warren to get someone's attention is actually really difficult, because how do you do it in an authoritative way? Warren?
But it's also not the French way.
How do you pronounce
Wawa?
Wawa is great, but they go Warren.
Warren. Where does that name come? Do we know where that name comes from? Is it a weird...
He's Breton, isn't he?
Yeah.
But I think it's still imported from the Anglo-Saxon world.
I like that a French mother and father gave birth to a beautiful baby boy and decided, I'm really inspired by the English name Warren.
Are there any
What about Mr. and Mrs. Vauquelin?
Yeah, but
Kevin
Kevin was at one point the most popular name. Maybe before Kevin Vauquelin's time. It was more of a 90s thing, wasn't it?
And at least that has the decency of having a thing over the E.
And it's a
so
fun
it seems
name.
a bit French.
Would you rather go to the pub with Kevin or Warren? And as a name?
Or Wawa wearing the 2018 polka dots?
Kev or Wazza?
I would pub with Kevin every time.
Would love to know what's going on there. How it's lost from the wine.
We had a press room controversy today.
Sorry?
We had a press room controversy today.
Did we? Ah.
One of the wildest moves I've seen from someone who's been on the tour for 4 days. Starts whistling a tune like we're down the mine, hacking out pieces of granite. Patrick Redford whistling in the press room in the back seat. What was Johnny Long from escapecollective.com. What was the thinking there when you began to whistle a whole tune in the press room?
I don't understand why this is a big deal. I was writing.
Yeah.
My mind was totally focused on the story at hand.
Your craft, yes.
Typing out work. You know how it is. You know, I'm hewing boulders out of the quarry, and so
of your mind. Yes.
As I'm locked in, my sort of tick to focus. Sometimes I'll just.
Yeah, imagine that.
Things of that nature. Okay. And everyone around me just reacted as if I had like shot someone. It was crazy. You guys are being weird, not me. I was being very normal.
Can I also have a counter?
Can you identify yourself, please? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ian Trelaw here from Escape Collective.
Yeah.
As somebody that has been described as annoying to work next to, with loud tappy typing, this is the first time that I've
looking around.
Oh, and just like gazing off into middle distance, or maybe at people without even really registering that I'm looking at them. I was taken aback, not just today, but 2 days earlier, when you were also singing a little song to yourself.
Follow-up question. Hi, Patrick. Johnny Long again from escapecollective.com. You've been in the press room now for 3 or 4 days. You've assessed the vibe. It's a turgid one with many
and yet I'm being criticized for having a song in my heart.
Well, many indentured European journalists who are waiting for their early retirement age, just typing away until it stops. Surely you knew that this sad, lonely place was not a place to bring joy to, and that you just have to fit in and get on with it, no?
Okay, I will just say that 15 minutes before this shocking incident occurred, this breach of decorum for which I've been banished to bicycle duty to get to the podcast, Joshua Robinson of the Wall Street Journal pulled out a personal fan from his backpack and directed the flow towards, I guess, sort of himself and me at the same time, which is very whimsical. So I was feeling in a whimsical mood. My press officer says that I should not deflect blame on others and take responsibility for my actions, but I'm not going to do that. Mr. Trillar?
Ian Trelaw from escapecollective.com. I'd just like to clarify that Joshua Robinson of the Wall Street Journal's fan is not one of the flappy Japanese style ones, but it is a rotary electrical
it's
one.
It's a USB fan that, and this is not an original move because I have been inspired by previous tours seeing Kaylee Fretz of Escape Collective do it.
Wait, before you ask your next question, can I just make a comment about the press room? It is big as shit. No one could hear me whistling besides my immediate compatriots, although I was shocked that people on either side of me who I didn't really know that well were also put off by this. So, Mr. Trelaw.
Follow-up question. Ian Trelaw, escapecollective.com. I also noticed that there is some body language that is unusual to me as somebody sitting next to you. Now, I have a little tappy of the fingers. I do a little bit of air double kick as if I'm playing a drum set. But I have not seen somebody with both hands, sort of, whilst trying to figure out a sentence, stretch their arms out wide like an accordion to try and conjure the word.
Are you talking about the move where I get my left? I guess it's both hands, and I just kind of make little.
I've seen that one as well, but I've also seen a double hand.
In public.
That's what I'm trying to think of a particular word. I just did it like 2 minutes ago while you guys were podcasting. I'm writing on my phone right now.
It's really amazing.
It works, I will say.
It's really amazing to me that yesterday's Ineos press conference is now the second most off the rails press conference of this
but
tour.
where does when the man nearly died after falling off his chair? Where does that rank? There's almost been more action in the press room than
that's
the
worse
toilet.
than whistling.
He did no media availability after that.
We should move on.
One last question.
Yeah, it better be a good one.
No further questions. This concludes the press conference of Patrick Redford.
Question pour la salle de presse.
I'm sorry for the extended roast.
Okay, so Mayo Sable.
Mayo Sable.
If you remember, it was Warren Buggy was our Mayo Sable today. Ignored me at the start.
I'm worried he's back.
I made the mistake of I was tired this morning. Couldn't be bothered to text the press officer, so send a 40-second voice note, which as soon as I sent it was like, this is not getting replied to. Who in their right mind on stage 15 of the Tour de France
responds to a voice note?
Didn't get a reply back about my... Because when you explain the Mayo Sable to someone else for an interview based off that, I feel it's better to use your tone to explain the type of interview you want to conduct. And I wrongly assumed that picnic personnel would not have been snowed under with a request today, and so thought there would have been time, but there wasn't, and they were slammed. Have you got something to add before I reveal the new Mayo Sable?
Yeah, I do. I would say that the primary problem with the Mayo Sable is that when you're explaining it to somebody, you are telling them that one of their riders is not terribly shit, but like a little bit shit. And
I disagree. Seeing as 22nd overall in the Tour de France, big deal.
Yeah.
Is
like
the Mayo Sable.
Good bike rider.
Good bike rider. With a time of 1 hour, 0 minutes, and 1 second.
Whoa.
Maybe one of the best Mayo Sables I've ever had.
Nailed it.
I am annoyed, dismayed to admit.
Enric Mas.
It's Warren Buggy. He was in the breakaway, made up some time. Supplanted the likes of Simon Philip Yates, who would have been a delight to try and track down and take none of our bullshit. So, might have to try and work the rest day while I'm sitting on the beach. Maybe send a couple more voice notes that can't be ignored. So that's fun. Has anyone checked if we got You're in Trouble? I don't think we do.
No, You're in Trouble. Checked. None whatsoever. But we did on the way in here today.
Yeah.
We were in the Camargue, or near the Camargue.
Yes.
And we saw flamingos.
Well, I think let's say that for After Dark because I'm not sure what else we've got for After Dark.
Not much.
And I'm also not sure how much of a draw card that is for membership. Saving that one anecdote.
Fine. Let's okay, fine, Ian. We'll talk about that now.
No, but then we don't have anything
now.
for After Dark.
We could have a no After Dark night. It's okay.
But Kaylee, how will I provide food for my family for the next month if we're not converting the members?
We could come back to local geographic intrigue.
There we go.
Is there more?
We've got more.
The only thing to say about the flamingos, they flew over the top of the car, and I got absolutely obliterated for being like, I didn't know flamingos could fly. Because Josh Robinson, former resident of London, if you've ever been to St. James's Park, there are flamingos there that are not kept in some sort of cage, but they're always there. Why not fly away?
Do they clip their wings or something?
What does that mean?
They just like chop some feathers off so that they can't fly.
Wait, Patrick Redford
That's
from
sad.
Defector, Johnny Long.
Yeah.
Why do you think you know so little about flamingos?
Because the flamingo. Yeah, well, they are flying high.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't assume they were. I assumed they were a flightless bird.
Johnny,
Yeah. Thanks, Meg.
do you?
Thank you. And we live in opposite sides of the world, and yet share these views.
Have you never watched a nature documentary?
No, I'm saving them up.
Just cartoons.
Yeah, mostly. Valid. I just don't know how everyone got so much flamingo knowledge and is so ready to brag about it, but fine, whatever.
If I can give a little shout out to my family, who I know listen and watch, my youngest calls them fully a mango.
Well, fully a mango.
Fully a mango,
well,
which
wrong.
is not at all what they're like. They are a bird, not a mango.
Yeah, not even the right colour. The other thing we have to discuss is air conditioning after dark because I'm not.
Because we got to get into it.
I couldn't be more. Yeah.
All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up there.
See you on Rest Day Pod, everyone.
We have tomorrow. We have Rest Day Pod. We also have How the Race Was Won after yesterday's big mountain stage. Go check that out. tomorrow on the rest day, we will have a questions podcast. So send your questions in, escapecollective.com/hello. You must be a member to send questions in. We'll be grabbing a bunch of those. We'll answer a bunch of other questions on Discord, etc.
Should we make tomorrow's rest day podcast members only?
Ooh,
Because I feel like the freeloaders have been getting a lot for free.
that's true.
Just thinking out loud.
Maybe we will.
You know, try and a Pavlovian response to be like, where is my podcast? Put your card number in here.
You've kind of called it now, haven't you?
All right. Tomorrow's rest
I'm
day
making
pod.
decisions above my station, sure.
Tomorrow's rest day pod is going to be members only. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
A
There
unilateral decision.
there will also be a Race Chasers pod, I believe, tomorrow from the Photographer Boys. We have decided to settle our beef with the Photographer Boys and instead focus our ire on the true slackers of the Tour de France caravan professionals, the TV people who don't work at all.
No.
As far as we know.
Well, there's just so many of them that they only have to do a small thing every day.
Very small thing, and then they're done.
Yeah.
And the race is done, and they're done. Yeah.
Agreed.
So we will be hearing from the photographers tomorrow with Race Chasers. Check that out. It's a great podcast. And then we will have a members-only version of the Tour Daily.
Yeah. And we're going to make it extra good.
It's going to be so good.
Extra good.
So good.
Extra spicy.
Extra spicy. We will see you there. Or we'll see you on...
What's that? escapecollective.com/join.
That is how you join.
And is the deal still running or not?
Nope.
Oh, you missed it. Unlucky.
I don't know. I don't know if it is or not. But we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to head to After Dark. If you're a member, we'll see you there. If not, we'll see you on Tuesday.